Hello, I'm Nadia Bilchik, and I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Joi Gordon. Joi is the CEO of Dress for Success Worldwide. Under her leadership, Dress for Success has become a globally recognized leader that has empowered more than 1 million women to become economically advanced in nearly 150 cities in more than 20 countries. And here she is, Joi Gordon.
Hi,
Joi,
Nadia.
welcome.
Thank you.
So Joi, Dress for Success. For those people who aren't as familiar as I am, won't you share exactly what you do?
Absolutely. Well, my hope is that many of those in the Atlanta area are welcoming Dress for Success into their lives, that they know about us. But for those who don't, we are a nonprofit global organization that's been around over 20 years. We started in New York City by a young law student in the basement of a church with a concept of how is she going to help women who needed to get jobs get back to work if they didn't have the clothing to go on their job interviews. And the organization was birthed in that concept of helping women get ready for their interviews with clothing and attire. We have since moved well past that as an organization, and our focus today is really not only giving women the tools they need to land jobs, but more importantly, the resources and support women need to keep their job. So it's a robust organization of services and a support network to ensure that women not only land jobs, but keep their jobs. And that today is Dress for Success. To your point, we've had extraordinary growth in a relatively short amount of time and have helped over 1.2 million women get back to work in literally 20 short years. And the number that I'm probably most excited beyond the 1.2 million women is that there's probably today about 4 million children now who have moms who work. And that to me is the number that I'm most proud of.
And Joi, there's been so much growth under your leadership. And what do you attribute that to? And what was your vision in helping the organization grow the way it has?
Yeah, I would say that our growth at Dress for Success is because of women like you. Women who work, who care about other women, and are really making sure that as they climb the ladder, they reach down and reach to the side and pull someone along with them. And that's been our success. It's been women who have, when we put a call to action, who've gone in their closets and pulled out nearly new interview appropriate clothing and donated to us. It's the women who, when we started to run programs and professional development classes, they chose to be speakers and moderators and panelists and mentors and coaches. It's women like you who, when COVID-19 hit and the pandemic happened and we had to pivot quickly to make sure that we didn't lose touch with the women that we were serving, they joined us by doing virtual classes and workshops and Zoom seminars. And so our success at Dress for Success, quite frankly, Nadia, is because of women like you and women around the world who care passionately about helping and shaping and changing the lives of other women.
So what are your big challenges right now, Joi? We're still in the midst of COVID-19. How can whoever is sharing this moment with us help and contribute?
Well, I mean, it definitely is an opportunity, right? We want to make sure that people don't see COVID-19 as just being frozen in time. I see this as an opportunity. I see this as an opportunity to build on what Dress for Success has been for the past 20 years. We are needed more than ever. We know that there's a recession happening, but to be honest, there's a she-cession happening. The impact of COVID-19 specifically on women and specifically on vulnerable populations is at a record high. And so what we want to do is make sure that women honestly have a support network of other women and are really given the tools they need to succeed. So that's where everyone can get involved. That's where we need more volunteers. That's where we need more donors. We need more kind of boots on the ground, helping us to design curricular and programs that are relevant in a kind of a 21st century job market. What we want to do is not only just make sure women get jobs, but for the women who are working, certainly the working poor, and those people who are working below wages, we want to start to upskill women. We want to give them the tools they need to succeed.
And Joy, you know, for companies, for people who are watching this, let's talk about the importance of companies getting involved and the importance of creating a culture of philanthropy and giving.
Yeah, yeah. Philanthropy is important. I think a lot of people hear the word philanthropy and they think you have to have an enormous amount of wealth to be able to make a difference. And I say, in essence, not at all. Wealth is not what's in your wallet, it's what's in your heart. And so everybody is wealthy, right? Everyone has wealth. And it's what you do with that wealth. And so if the wealth is in your heart, it's like, what does your heart call you to do? And what's the difference you're going to make? Like, what's the legacy you want to leave? And I believe we all need to do our giving when we're living. So if my giving is done today, then it's the legacy that I'm leaving with the gifts that I give. Philanthropy is not just money. Money is important, but it's also the time. It's your time and the talent you give to someone else. And often it's the people you would never intersect with that the giving could be the most powerful. So there's no opt out in this. I think there's a real opportunity here for us to really focus in on, especially in these very difficult times, I think we are here, and the more you give in this world, the more you get. And that's how the universe repays you. You give and you get. You don't give to get, but when you get back threefold. So I love giving. I love it. I give personally, I give my time, I give my talent, I give my treasure, and that's philanthropy. And there's room at the table for everyone to give.
Joy, won't you share one story of success with us? You know, you have helped so many women and therefore so many families. Is there a particular individual who has come back to you and said, thank you because of Dress for Success
I mean, I just read an email 3 days ago from a woman in Canada who, not exactly sure how she found me, but she wanted to tell me about the Dress for Success Canada office that she went to. And she started by telling a story about her husband, who is since deceased, and how she felt, helpless and alone. And through her need and desire to find work, she was referred to Dress for Success. And she talked about walking through the doors of Dress for Success, being greeted by someone who knew her name, not being judged based on her past circumstance, and being treated like she was on a runway, and it was the runway for her life. And the options she had and the clothing choices, and that someone sat with her and reviewed her resume and did a mock interview with her. And she hadn't worked in 25 years because her husband was the primary breadwinner. And she had to get back into the workforce to take care of herself and her family, her extended family. And she found a job and she found her way. And she's part of our organization, and she wanted me to know how much Dress for Success meant to her. I may never meet her. We are only introduced by email, but that is if there's a DNA to Dress for Success, and if there's something that I hear from women when I travel around the world and meet with the Dress for Success women, it's about the dignity and respect that happens when they're met at the front door, and how they're treated as a client of Dress for Success, and how they're given hope and confidence. And from there, they get the determination and the grit that they need and the resilience to push past and do well in their life.
Joi Gordon, you are a joy. And I love that you say wealth is not what's in your pocket, but in your heart. And just thank you so much for everything that you do. And as you said, if Dress for Success was to expand its name, it would be a whole lot more, right, Joi?
Absolutely. Like, if there was one thing I could redo from 20 some odd years ago, although the name is kind of catchy and people remember it, but to call us merely Dress for Success, it's not about the dressing on the outside. It's about addressing what's going on in the inside. And we do so much more than physically give her clothing. We really, we help her. We help her get her stride back. We help her get her life back, and her confidence back. And that allows her to soar. And so the dress for success is not the physical dress. It's addressing what she needs for success, and that's Dress for Success.
Joi Gordon, CEO of Dress for Success Worldwide. Thank you so much for your time, your effort, your energy, and being so articulate.
Thank you. Thanks, Nadia.